front of these folks here. It means so much to me, to our employees on the NRA, so thank you. As y'all have seen, you've seen the presentations, you've seen the work out there. Kiewit is doing an amazing job. From the beginning, we recognize that we chose very well, and every day that relationship becomes stronger, even as we meet obstacles. And you know, maybe one of those obstacles, I hope that it's not an obstacle for folks in this room, is the timeline. We've spent weeks mulling this over as Forest Service, in concert, of course, with our partner Kiewit, in concert with the folks in Damascus, with the town government of Damascus, Washington County, and we have a new timeline. Many of you, you're here because you pay attention to public lands issues, and you probably saw the press release that came out right before we got here. It took a lot of doing to get that all the way up to the Washington office and all the way down today. But I'll speak to it. That timeline, we want to open the entire trail on March 31st, 2027. That is our new timeline. And we believe very strongly that that is what is best for the trail. And I'll speak to that. I'll speak to why we think that here. So we made a one-year commitment. You can thank Dennis Sanders for that because he built 58 so fast. And here we are today. But as Luke mentioned, we had a difficult winter. It was a little ice. It was a mini ice age, and that set us back. We thought that we could meet the primary construction deadline of 1 year, and that we could meet the restoration timeline of 1 year, but that we, in our minds, believe that that is not what's best for the trail. We want to give it the winter of 26, 27, settle and cure, and that's a logistical consideration, but mostly our consideration is around safety. And, you know, if push came to shove, I'm sure we could do something, but we believe strongly that if we start to open up sections of that trail, and let's say it's December, and then we get another mini ice age, and we've got 6 inches of ice out there, and an open trail, and a brilliant marketing person told me today that if you say something is open, folks don't hear what the caveat is. They hear it is open. And they'll be there. They'll be out there to explore what this incredible, you know, trail is going to look like. And we think that would be unsafe in general. It'd be unsafe to the Kiewit contractors who are still out there who would have to interfere with that and try to stop them from doing that. We think it would be unsafe for Town of Damascus Fire and EMS, Washington County Sheriff's Department to respond to incidents on the trail in the winter. That coupled with just generally the safety of visitors. If someone's out there and they hit a slick patch, Section 5 in Taylor's Valley, does not see the sun in the winter, that would be unsafe. And it is my firm belief as area ranger, and it is my responsibility to make sure that this trail is safe for riders. I believe that it would be, I think the safest option would be to open it in the spring, March 31st, 2027. If some option were available to drop off folks, we would of course entertain that, but all the places to drop folks off if we did a segmented opening happen to be Kiewit laydown yards. So we'd be essentially putting riders next to heavy equipment, and that again, that strikes me, my instinct is telling me that is not a good thing, and we should avoid that at all costs. And cyclists and heavy equipment, that just does not work, because the cycle doesn't make any sound, and heavy equipment makes all kinds of sound. Second, that sustainability. This trail is essentially a new trail, almost entirely. Some of the sections where Treadway has gone, it's brand new. It's a brand new surface upon which to place a trail. That is going to take some time to settle, and it might be soft. It might even be soft in the spring, and we'll have to pay attention to that. But again, I strongly believe that the trail, as a whole, requires that winter of stabilization and settling. That's gravel, that's bridges, that's the new trail trestle transitions that we thankfully incorporated into this. As that steel expands into the concrete, we want to know what that does. Does it start to crack the concrete as that contraction happens and expansion happens during freeze-thaw cycles? So we got trail trestle transitions, treadway, brand new, and trestles that are brand new with brand new decks. Again, we want to see what it looks like over the winter and then revisit it in February, March and see where our problem areas are, if we even have problem areas. We want to avoid at all costs opening a section of the trail, let's say in December, and then closing it again because it's holding water or it's sloughing off or something like that. We want to avoid that at all costs. It also means that Kiewit, if the trail entirely is closed. The Kiewit engineering controls to keep folks out of those places are still in place, and we, the Forest Service, need that desperately because the Kiewit engineering controls help us maintain safety out there. We can't be out there all the time, if we can be out there at all, aside from our COR. So Kiewit's engineering controls are extremely important for us to maintain safety on that trail for contractors and visitors. Lastly is timing. And we heard loud and clear at that Warner meeting that timing was super important. Not just timing, but giving a solid date so that business owners could plan how they wanna endure that early part of winter and into spring. What do they do? March 31st is not ideal. In many ways, Easter is March 28th. So it's gonna be costly, and you can direct that anger right at me if that is indeed what's happening. But I take responsibility for that decision. I do think it is what's best for the trail, absolutely. I think the folks in this row right here, and I count everybody in this room, we wanna give the town of Damascus, the communities of Taylors Valley, Green Cove, Whitetop County, Washington County, Grayson County, the best, the safest, most sustainable, most beautiful trail that we possibly can. And I personally believe that the best way to do that is that spring, that March 31st, 2027 opening. So you can direct that anger at me, I'm right here, don't direct it up here. These folks are amazing. But I'm open to questions, y'all. That's the end of my presentation. I didn't have a presentation because I wanted you to direct the attention and anger right at me. Yeah, you know, the team that we have on this project is just the best team I've ever worked with. And I was in the Army for a long time, so that's saying a lot. But yeah, I'm honored to be part of it. I hope that what I've said today, the press release that came out earlier, does not unduly affect y'all, too much. I really sincerely hope that. But I believe that on March 31st, 2027, it's going to be a time of celebration. I do. Yeah.
Thank you.